Hello. Welcome to the Woman Worthy Show. We're going to be up to so much shenanigans tonight. It's going to be crazy. I have Miss Wonderful Tara Rosenberger. I have Miss Adina Torres. And I have Miss Luna Sharpston. And I am Jacqueline Charles. So welcome to our Motivational Monday show. I want you guys to meet my tribe. One person I've known, Tara, I think I've known her, I think when I was like maybe 13. Adina, I've known, I think, since maybe what, 11, 12, something like that. Zena, I think probably 9 years old. Okay. Tonight's show is Moving of the Minds Concerning the Time, too. So we have beautiful, intelligent women. We'll be discussing the following topics. So one of the topics I'd like to start with is how can we start the process of healing from inherited dysfunction from our family dynamics? This topic was given to me by the lovely Miss Rosenberg. Now, let me know if y'all really want to get into this because she know my business and she wants to put my business on the road. Okay, okay, guys, what do you guys feel about how do we begin the healing process from an inherited of dysfunction from our family dynamics?
I think that the start to healing is recognizing that there's a problem, right? And acknowledging that there's dysfunction and moving yourself from the situation, giving yourself an opportunity to kind of analyze what's going on. It's interesting. I'll say a little story before I go on. My brother always says to inspect the expectation, right? And also in reading Maya Angelou's, also she mentions when people show you who they are, believe them, right? So in the case of dysfunction, it's acknowledging that there's something wrong, speaking up and bringing it to someone's attention that if they do something wrong to you, bringing it to their attention, and then possibly taking steps to rectify whatever that is. Sometimes you're not able to rectify the situation if it's a dysfunctional situation. So then you have to be willing to remove yourself.
Okay. Miss Adina, what is your response on that?
I would have to say that sometimes it's inherited, the dysfunction, and it's also influenced by the personality traits that we have. So a lot of the experiences that we've had in our lives are not our own, they're of someone else's. For example, if your parents didn't swim, they would not allow you to go in the water. You know, it's like, no, don't do that. You're going to get hurt. And it's an inherited behavior. And when someone in the house thinks that they're helping, they're actually hindering the person from, creating their own positive experiences. And we pass that down. I remember when I was going for my psychology major, one of the very simple things that was brought up that they did a research on was a family had a meatloaf recipe and the daughter would cut the ends off. And her daughter asked her, well, why do you cut the ends off? And she said, I don't know. My mother always cut the ends off. So she asked her mother, and her mother said, I don't know. My mother always did it. So when she asked her mother said, well, my pan was too small, so I just cut the ends off. So it could be as simple as that, or it could be something that's traumatizing that we just pass on. So how do we heal? That's a great question. I mean, look at where we are right now. We almost have no choice but to search within to find the answers that may or may not be true. And I'm sure that we're all questioning, the dysfunctional characteristics that we all have. I mean, we're all saying that we're experiencing a change. You're remembering things that you used to do that were very natural and not so dependent on the world. So I think that we're trying to get there. That's how I feel.
Okay, for me, divorce them. Next, T.
Me, first you is acknowledging that there is a dysfunction, and that's self-awakening. It's like after you become at a certain awareness within oneself, you start to look around and notice that certain behaviors is not normal or it shouldn't take place. That's one. Second is after you're able to be awoke in order to function with the people who are still under the dysfunctional spell, if you will, is to call it out. Like if there's someone in the family that's known to do certain behaviors that always cause an argument or a disagreement when they come around, instead of people addressing it, everybody don't learn to go along just to get along. So one person calls it out, and then you become the problem because they don't want to deal with the energy of having to address that behavior. So the whole thing is that in order to fix the dysfunctional part as a family dynamic, everybody have to be on the same page to want to heal, to want to change it, and want to fix it. If there's a possibility to fix it, because sometimes it's so deep that it can't be fixed in one generation.
To piggyback off what you're saying also, Tahira, a lot of times people will justify certain behavior to say, oh, that's just how he or she is, right? But you're doing that service because you're condoning a certain behavior that you don't necessarily want to deal with yourself personally. And knowing that other people don't want to deal with that person either, it creates a distance.
Absolutely.
Right? And then what happens is that although a lot of times people, as much as we should be open to criticism, people assume that naturally because someone brings something to your attention, it's always a bad thing. But we all have to understand whoever this person that's creating the dysfunction or whatever, yeah, sometimes the truth hurts, but you have to be open and willing to accept it.
And that's true because I know for me, there's always that one person in the family where everyone says, oh, you know how they are. And me, I'm the, pun intended, the black sheep of the family, because if the elephant's in the room, I'm going to say the elephant's in the room. And the elephant's not pink, it's gray. Let's address it. Because I'm one of those, let's address the issue. But a lot of my family are kind of afraid of a particular person. And me, I'm like, I'm the bull in the china cabinet. So me, what I've decided to do, it's not me where I have it. It's you can love us both, but they have it where if you talk to Jackie, so people are kind of sneaking to try to talk to me. I'm like, look, our stars are not in alignment, so we don't have to have conversation. And that's what I'm saying now, because she's laughing because what I've learned to do, instead of telling people, like some people may curse and say the F word, you and all that, I don't do that. What I've learned to do now is to say politely, it's okay. Our stars are not in alignment. Bye-bye. So that's what I say when I'm cutting people off. So for me, what I've chose a healthier route with my family is not to be bothered. I have some that I'm with and the others I'm okay. I can do without, because toxic is not just your friends. Toxic are your family. You guys are my new family, not just now, but T, you've always been. Zena, we record, Adina, we're family. Ray Diamonds, Fjord said, hello, Zena. I think that's one of your friends. Yeah. Fjord said, hello, Zena. I think that's one of your friends. Yeah. So that's how I deal with it personally. But I think, T, you wanted to say something? Were you going to chime in?
No, I was just saying you did a nasty nice. That's what you changed it out to be.
Exactly. Brooklyn has taught me how to do this well. So, yeah.
You're absolutely right. I feel the same way, especially with family. At this point in my life, I don't think that I need to understand that we step around that person like eggshells. And I've eliminated a lot of those people, even if they are family, because they're not doing any good for me. Right. And I don't need the holiday relative, where you get together and then you're like, oh, that person's going to be there. I hope I get through the evening. I've just eliminated all of that. And yeah, like you said, you make new family. You get to pick people that support you. And if they can't support you, I think I just listened to a motivational speaker that said, go through your contact list, really go through your contact list. And those people that aren't there for you and they don't make you feel safe, you need to delete them out of your life. That's it. And that's how I feel.
This is what I think the issue is. A lot of people feel because they're family that you have to hold them at a higher regard than friends, or you have more tolerance because they're family. We're family, so you know my innermost secrets, my skeletons in the closet. It's either using that against me or the behavior against me. And you're thinking that I'm not going to cut you off. Look, I ain't got a problem doing that. Okay, I say we have 5 chapters in our life, and all of us ladies, we're in our 3rd chapter. What I believe, me personally, I'm not going to tolerate negativity. I don't care who you are. I don't care if it comes with a price tag. When I say the Lord has allowed me to just rip it open and just not tolerate, I give you love, and I give love every day. Some days I may give but I still give love, but it may be like. So what I'm saying is, why you can't give that back to me. And if you can't give it back to me, at least give me respect. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not tolerating the foolery. Deborah said, hi, I'm well. I'm learning from you guys. Aww. And let me tell you where each of these women stand in my life. And there's more, but they weren't on today. Nadine is driving from Virginia up to Georgia, which is where I am. And Sabrina, she is attending to something. So Adina is the doctor of my group, okay? Because you heard when she was quoting, psychology and what they were doing. So you heard that. Zena is the one who has the common sense, right? She's the one when I want to do something, Zena's like, well, logically and statistic, and she's the analytical person, okay?
I got the bail money.
She got the bail money. Right. She got the bail money. T now is the one, if I'm burying the body, she's the one I'm calling. She gonna help me bury it. She gonna burn it. She gonna 1, 2, 3, Jackie, it never happened. I don't know what you're talking about. We did not do that. She's the ride or die. Okay. Adina's too scared because she'll let it flip. Zena would be like, oh.
At least you had the bail money.
I got the bail money. I got you.
Girl, you're just underestimating people. You're underestimating. It's okay. Keep underestimating me. I'm all right with that.
By the time we get out of jail, Zena be so flabbergasted that we gonna have to slap her into give us the doggone money. And I'm saying Zena's gonna analyze it, like, why did she do it? How did she do it? What time did it take for her to do it? What did he do for her to do it? She gonna go through all of that. Adina now is gonna let me see if that chemical compound and what bullet did she use? Nope, that bullet cannot do that. There's no way. Let me get the gunpowder. So that's what Zena is. T ain't got no sense. I'll be going on the 11th floor saying I'm a jump because I don't need a parachute. She's gonna say, "Go, girl, go ahead."
No,
but she gonna come with me though.
All right, safety first. Let's go.
That's right. Like a really bad episode to set it off, okay?
Safety first. Let's go.
Now listen, so when I'm going through something, I know which one of y'all will call. If I want the common sense with the angel on my shoulder, I'm gonna call Zena. If I want the person who gonna think about it and okay, let me see the chemical stuff, I'm gonna call it Zena. Pamela said, family that you choose is sometimes better than bloodlines. Girl, you ain't never lied. I say family is who you create. Relatives are DNA. So let me ask you a question, and let me put this out there. Let's say you have someone in your family, and they wreak havoc in the family, and you can't find yourself to even have that conversation with them because they're just ignorant. How do you reconcile this? Because
there is no reconciling.
Mm-mm.
See you later. That's it. That make it even better.
Are we talking about dysfunctional, they have addictions? Because that's a whole other enabling and trying to be.
It's a bad behavior.
But see, that's also an addiction because if you're a narcissist, and let's face it, these people are narcissists, right? So I don't never understand because we have one couple in the family, but but no, seriously, and it's not even bad mouth in them. It's just I don't understand why people are like, well, that's how she is, and they don't want to hear her mouth because if they do, it's going to be a big problem. And then they have to sit down and discuss with other family members why they're even talking to you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand why we have this generational thing. We have YouTube, we have therapy. Why are we still in that generational shift where we don't want to change that mindset?
Because people are afraid to jump in and make the changes. They feel it's too much work, it's too much energy. They don't want to make the time to do it. But if it's not addressed, then it continues to grow and grow and grow until you got a big monster that nobody could defeat. It just destroys the whole bunch.
Well, the thing
it was never addressed. I find that they were probably never addressed as a kid. It was like, oh, just leave him alone. That's the way he is. He's the one that's throwing the plate when he's 5 years old. And it's like, it's okay, let him do what he has to do. And then he's the 16-year-old that's getting pulled over by the cops. And he's the one that's in trouble and just creating havoc in the family. And you can't reel them in then. And then if they hit into their 30s, then you're just dealing with that constant volcano exploding. You're just waiting for that person, like leave him alone, please don't say anything. You know how he is. Just say okay, just make up. And I don't like that guilt thing. Just be the bigger person. I was brought up like that, and I don't want to be the bigger person anymore. This person doesn't keep in touch with me. Why do I have to make the call? Why? Oh, but you know how it is. What is that?
But also, to kind of piggyback off of what Jackie was saying too, a lot of people don't believe in therapy.
Right. Especially Black people.
In the Black population specifically, we don't believe in therapy, right? Because all of a sudden you go to a therapist, oh, there's something wrong with you with wanting to change a pattern, right? So that's a major issue too, because a lot of times you have to end up killing the monster in which you created, right? So it depends. As far as for me personally, let's say if there's something that someone does to me that I don't like it, I'm gonna tell you, and I'll address it with you, let you know. But moving forward, if I don't see that there's any change in how you deal with me specifically, because I can't sit there and try to save the world and be concerned with how do you deal with people as a collective. But for me specifically, I'm gonna sit there and say, look, I don't appreciate that you said so and so, or you did something. And if I don't see that you take steps or strides to rectify it, I'm done.
And and I'll share something because I'm transparent, because my family already cut me off, so it's all good. I have an issue with my sister, a horrible issue. And when I talk to my oldest brother, he's one of those like, well, I didn't know this happened. When everybody knew what was going on, because if everyone knows, I'm very verbal. She's the one that my virginity.
Oh my God.
So it was horrible. And then, my brother and I, we talked about it. And of course he said he didn't know this, he didn't know that, he was going on and on and on. When I am very vocal, because I'll tell this one and that one, this is what's going on. And she was acting really hateful towards me growing up, because I was my father's, the last girl, and I didn't have a mother. He was the one who raised me. So I think she thought that took away from her, but that's not my issue. That's her issue with my dad. But it's like she's done so many horrible things, and her daughters are like not with her at all. They want really not much to do with her. And I used to pound my head on the wall like, why don't y'all see what she's doing? Why don't y'all see what she's doing? Y'all making excuses because me and my generation, we're going to shun you until you get yourself together. No one in the family should be talking to you until you get yourself together. Mm-hmm. So because of that and other issues that I've gone through, I have sought therapy. Therapy is not a bad thing. Therapy has kept me sane. Therapy has kept me from not committing suicide. Therapy has made me the person that I am.
Wow.
Put that out.
So you got to address the issue. You got to tell the truth to shame the devil. If you don't put yourself first and address whatever issues that is making you feel uncomfortable, that's making you feel like you're not bugging out, and take a look in a back view to look at the overall situation, because people will try to shame you and make you believe that it's you who are the problem, is you who do this, and they won't own up to their bull. You know what I'm saying? So unless you say, no, this is not right, this is not feeling well to me, my body is reacting to it, it's time for me to walk away. You got to take the initiative and walk away. A person who's harming you and hurting you and they're getting away with it, they're not going to walk away and leave. You know what I'm saying? They stay in there for the long haul until you get rid of them.
But I want you guys to understand that I'm okay now. So this is not a therapy session. I'm just letting y'all know. At least y'all would be cheaper, but no. Basically was I did reach out to her and say, okay, I'm grown. Let's have a conversation. We can have a relationship. I blocked her out of my life. And I said, we can have a relationship. And I said, well, we got to talk about the past, because I'm one of them chicks. Let's talk about the past in order before we can have a relationship. She didn't want to do that. So because she didn't want to do that, girl, I can't get with you. You know what I'm saying? I see you on the other side. I'll give you some water while you're burning down in there. I'll send you some water, but
But you healed, Jackie, because you forgave her and you released yourself of that bondage of someone else's mess.
I did.
But also too, you have to understand that if you don't forgive someone, you render them to control you, and you can't continue to prosper and to flourish,
right?
Who it is that you're supposed to fully become, unless you release it. So if people want to stay stuck, let them stay stuck. But it's all about the progression.
I wish I had known that, because it was manifesting into illness in my body, my heart chakra, my throat chakra. I'm like, I felt like I was choking. And when you said her name, or if I saw shows with sisters, I couldn't deal with it. I just wanted to go crazy. So I then said, okay, I don't need that. And then my other sisters followed her because there's 4 girls. And I'm like, I can't be dealing with them either because I can't deal with them shenanigans. I can't keep going to jail if I act on what I want to do because I don't look good with my hair corn braided back. And that shade of orange does not look good on me. So I can't do it. You know?
Jackie, I went to therapy for family members because I felt like I thought I was going crazy at one point in my life. I really did. And it was to the point where I sought counseling. They actually convinced me to go to counseling, that something was wrong with me.
Right.
And I sat in this chair, and I'm not even kidding. This woman said, I can't take your money anymore. I said, oh, well, here we go. She's going to tell me you're crazy. And she said, I have to tell you something. I'm like, here it goes. I'm crazy. And she said, they just don't like you. There's nothing wrong with you. I cannot take your money. You need to just let them all go. And I did this and I did that, and they still don't, I don't understand. What am I doing? And she would just sit there week after week, and she just said, I can't do this anymore to you. There is nothing wrong with you. They don't like you. That's it. They don't like what you're about.
Wow.
They just don't like you. And I said, I knew it. I knew I wasn't crazy. That's all I kept saying. I knew I wasn't crazy. I knew I wasn't crazy. But it's that thing that, you just want to be pleasing and like, why don't you like me? Why are you going out of your way to hurt me? And you keep trying, and that whole thing, like, don't, it's just the way they are. Let them be, like, no.
And I think mine started, my issues way back in the day, not liking women because of the women in the family. Because you're right, Adina, it's like you're looking for validation. Like, I'm a cool chick. What you mean you don't like me? People who don't even know me like you like me. So what's the deal? And I'm glad you're saying that, Adina. It's not me, it's them. You're not going to make your issues my issues.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it took me a while. I wish I had known back then, like what Zena said, basically about, but basically it boils down to, a couple of things that she said. We let these people get away with it. So I didn't want, when I ever had to talk to someone or a therapist, to say, did you talk to her? I wanted to make sure I wrote letters. I did everything. And now I'm seeing her daughters want nothing to do with her, and I'm seeing that empty, and it does not make me feel good at all. It doesn't, because I'm like, this is your mom, but it is what it is, and there is nothing for me to do about it. I can just only pray on it. So, why is it important for us to make sure our mental and our spiritual health stays on a positive energy, positive vibes, especially now with the coronavirus? Why is it important that we really be intentional on our mental? Because I think we're all worried about the food, the this, the that we're all going to come out of this with PTSD, whether people believe this or not.
Absolutely.
So, Adina,
PTSD, what you talking about?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Adina, what do you think about this? How important do you think?
I'm so happy you're saying this, because you guys have been like a lifesaver for me. Like the texts that we've been having the past couple of days, trying to figure out how to just get to the next level of all of this that we're doing, all this communication that we have going. I actually look forward to it. Excuse me. I just feel that mental stability is so fragile right now. And that you've gone out there and put that mask on, and there's that person, and you just want to strangle them because they don't have that mask on. You can't say nothing, and you've felt a rage that you've never felt before, with everything. And then you just add everything into it, and you just keep adding all the other stuff. And it's this one, when I get that text, and I see all those numbers, and I see who put us all together, and how I know this person, and the bigger picture, and all your lives that you're sharing with me, everything else doesn't matter. That's it. That's how I feel lately. It's an amazing feeling. I got up early this morning because I'm tired of Jackie beating us all and getting up early. So I got up at 5:15. She was probably up at 2. But anyway, I did my meditation. I did my day today. So